Now, Turkey's President Erdogan has already called for a boycott of U.S.-made electronics. That would even include iPhones and a host of other high-tech devices. Now, it's not having a big reverberating effect here because in the scheme of things, it's sort of like a rounding number on a rounding number. But having said that, it's a sign that if you're waiting for the release of this pastor that triggered a lot of these tariff responses on the part of the President of the United States, don't hold your breath. All right, so to Fox News contributor Liz Peek, we've got Fox Business own superstar Connell McShane and Payne Capital Management senior financial advisor Michelle McKinnon. And anyone can jump in and out however you want. So, Michelle, Home Depot saved the day, retail could save the day, the markets, and the fact that, ironically, what ails Turkey is bringing people to us as an alternative saves the day. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Turkey, in the grand scheme of things, only represents 1% of the world's GDP, so it's small. And if anything, Neil, I think it's an opportunity for investors to capture the recent downturns that we've been seeing, because not only are we seeing strong fundamentals here, but we did see that surprise in the positive with the Eurozone with GDP numbers better than expected for Germany.
Yeah. And overseas financial crises in general, and this is what this is already or turns into, have many times been buying opportunities for U.S. assets. A lot of comparisons have been made. I know Charlie talked about it last hour with the Paul Krugman article, but a lot of others have compared this to the Asian financial crisis in 1997 and 98.
Before you were born, remember?
Which was, yeah, exactly right.
Big deal.
Well, yeah, I was, wow, look at that. What's going on in Asia? So it was a disaster for emerging markets and their stock markets, which went down, I think, something like 60%. But the S&P 500 in the United States, which initially takes a hit, predictably, when something like that happened, that hit was short-lived, and it came right back, and it turned out to be a buying opportunity. So that's what history shows us time and time again when these types of overseas crises come up.
But it is a reminder that over the last decade, we've seen a $40 trillion increase in emerging market debt. That is a whale of a lot of numbers. And the reason is because we had such low interest rates, not only in the United States, but in most of the developed world, that basically investors went searching for yield. So there is this sort of issue out there of all these debts, which basically are not in every case in strong hands. Argentina obviously is a problem place. South Africa has raised concerns. But Turkey's economy is not in great shape. And I think all of this geopolitical storm and drang and the fight with Trump and everything, in a way, Erdogan is benefiting because he has someone to blame. The truth is he is to blame.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of these problems were there.
Yeah, exactly.
This 16 to 20% inflation, that was there. Effectively, milk and bread prices are doubling every week.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But to piggyback off your point, what makes me feel better about emerging markets is simply because when you look at the larger economies like China and India, they have a lot lower percentage in foreign debt compared to GDP. So that makes me a little bit more less concerned and actually more bullish on emerging markets in general.
So the buying opportunity could be there in emerging markets, not just our market.
It's the dollar-denominated debt that's the concern, that's for sure, and that's not China.
And well, there are signs that China is hiccuping a little bit here. Are you worried about that?
Well, they've had a lot of private companies go bankrupt recently, and they have a real tension in China right now between trying to fight a trade war and sort of get credit out into the market, roll back the efforts to bring down debt, which is kind of where they were 6 months, a year ago. You know, now, I mean, that is probably the biggest thing that's happened to China because of the trade war, is that they're sort of trying to refigure what they're doing in credit markets because, yeah, they've had some issues with bad debts.
A lot of it comes back to timing, though, with the Chinese. Is like when we see what is perceived to be bad news out of China, and some of the news hasn't been great. I mean, the growth rate is still there, but they're losing some steam. And their number of retail sales was one place to look. Fixed investment was another place to look that you could say, well, China's not growing as much as it was. But just as we talk about Erdogan kind of willing his way into the next day, almost by sheer ego, the Chinese have, much more available to them to string this trade war out.
Well, what worries me, to your point, though, is that a trade war in the middle of this doesn't help matters any. I raised this with California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa. This is what he had to say about it. They're responding tit for tat and tariffs on top of tariffs to somehow stabilize a world trading environment that might be more in your favor. It sounds like you're just playing with grenades here.
You know, there's no question at all that there's both risk and reward. You know, one of the challenges in any peace talks is you've got to give the other side a pathway to a win on their side, a pathway to something where they can say this is fair.
Well, that may be the hope, but Liz, I don't see it happening.
Well, I think that is why, this is sort of far afield, that's why I think the NAFTA negotiations and the fact that apparently we are very close to signing a deal with Mexico and probably Canada is so critical.
It's very different read in the Canadian press. They're not in part of this.
Well, they haven't been involved in the talks because the issues have been local Mexican wages and also local content for automobiles and things that really doesn't concern Canada that much. I think, look, Trudeau needs this deal to be done. So does the new Mexican president, and so does Trump. He needs to show that there's a point to all this.
It's quite a few months, right? He does.
December. He takes office.
Right.
But at this point, he's kind of driving the agenda.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Michelle, is it your sense that, again, buoyed by the good numbers we have and that the wind at our back is all of that stuff, that we will remain a haven for investors worldwide through these type of crises? Because they'll look at Turkey, they'll look at all these other problems, they'll look at even China and all and say, you know what, say you will of Donald Trump, say you will of good place to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think short term, but again...
What's short term? Short term to me is dinner.
Right, exactly.
Short term can mean anything, right? Markets could go down in 5 seconds. But I really think that, yes, short term, we do look like a safe haven, and we do have extremely strong fundamentals. Yeah. But I would not discount the foreign markets, and I really think that this recent volatility overseas is providing opportunity. And let's talk trade, right? I think you're going to see more trade deals happen, and particularly China. I mean, they're in trouble. I think ultimately they are going to come to the table just to save their economy.
But we've got to give them away. I think Congressman Issa is making an interesting point, if I'm reading what he told you this morning correctly, is that he's essentially talking about off-ramps, which we've talked about with the Turkey. Yeah, saving face with the Turkey situation. It seems rather simple, short term at least, in releasing this pastor that everybody's been talking about. But we don't talk about it a lot with the Chinese, and we have to remember and remind ourselves that this isn't or shouldn't be a zero-sum game when it comes to trade. We buy a ton of stuff from China, and there is some sort of an off-ramp we've got to give them at some point. And what is it? I mean, I don't know what it is right now. We're talking about beating them, that we can stand this longer than they can, and that may all be true. But at the end of the day, how do we come up with a deal? We've got to give them something that they can claim the victory the congressman's talking about.
The problem with China is it's not all about trade. It's also about their presence in the South China Sea. It's about the stealing of intellectual capital. There are really some pretty serious issues that we're confronting with China. Cyber attacks on various institutions, et cetera. We don't have those with Turkey. Turkey's an easy solution. In my view, get rid of the pastor and you are home free, Mr. Erdogan. You know, the markets will love that.
Is that right? You think that if he's released, everything goes away?
Oh, I think so. We had meetings. Our officials met with them. Right? Totally. Met with them just a couple of 3 or 4 days ago, and that was clearly on the table. And they pointed out the United States, after all, had dropped charges against those thugs, the Turkish military guys who beat up demonstrators. We have made some conciliatory gestures, but it seems like Turkey just doesn't want to back down.
All right, guys, thank you all very, very much.